Welcome everyone to 9.23 patch rundown. We're going into set 2. This is the second patch of set 2. Impeeba back with a rundown. Admittedly, I have played very little of set 2. I can't stand playing normal games, even in houses, so I've been forcing myself to play, but really not super. So my point is, like, I know all the changes, but I don't have the meta on lock. So giving my thoughts as someone who hasn't devoted a ton of time yet, but from what I have seen, it's very helpful. I played in a couple tournaments and won, and then plays very well in both of them. So yeah, I really like set 2 overall. Let's just hop into it. Alright, greetings tacticians. The big news this patch is the return of the rank queue. Thank the Lord. I don't know, when there's nothing at stake, it's just so boring for me. On the balance front, we made a host of small changes and fixed a bunch of game-altering bugs. Nice, always good to hear. The method to our madness focuses on shifting some power into Tier 2 and Tier 3 3-star champions while pulling some power from the stronger Tier 1 champions. Okay, this is good. I mean, this is basically like anti-hyper roll. We're glad we took the extra patch to get all the new set jitters out, but overall we're really excited about the state of Rise of the Elements. Good luck on your climb, blah blah blah. Alright, no, I'm not watching that, I don't care. Glacial, okay, yeah, Glacial's problematic. One of the best comps right now is Predator. Predator Poison, Glacial Berserker with Olaf carry. Just the cone with, 40% stun chance, it's really hard to deal with, / it's just overtuned. So they're cutting back on 4 glacial, 5% less, 6 glacial, 10% less. Great. I think this is good. I like this more than nerfing Olaf, truthfully, because I think glacial was the issue, not his strength. And as a 4 cost, I think that he should remain, fairly strong. Yeah, before we go any further, 4 cost, units that I think are super underwhelming and need to be buffed. Talia is like the most garbage Tier 1 unit. The rest are fairly decent. Tier 2's Syndra maybe. Thresh is pretty meh. That's all I can think of for Tier 2s. Tier 3s are all... Ezreal kind of sucks. Sivir is pretty underwhelming too, actually. Tier 4s though, Twitch feels really bad, I think. And so does Ashe. Rangers in general are just garbage in my opinion. But I don't think they should buff the Ranger buff. I think they should buff the units first. 5 costs. Singe probably needs maybe it's either damage or armor should be how it gets nerfed. Or just his AI, because the AI messes up so many champions pathing, which is a bigger deal than it might seem like. Zed is a little bit overtuned, I think. But I don't really know how they fix it, because he's so item reliant, right? A Zed without items actually doesn't do anything. He spawns a second clone of himself, and then it's just another auto attack, because his ability doesn't, do anything else. So, anyways, let's keep going. Light. The total heal amount is now based on the dying champion's health rather than those receiving health. Interesting. So, I think this might actually be a buff in certain scenarios, right? Because most fights, your frontline units are going to die and they're going to have more health. Your frontline units will die first. But I think it's now light is more countered by assassins, because assassins will kill Vayne. And I mean, they already did. And then Vayne will heal the front line for less health than they normally would have gotten. This is an interesting buff. I wonder what they were thinking with this, like what direction that would go in, but I honestly don't think light is that good. Ocean mana per second. Okay, 15, 30. So 5 more on 4 ocean and 10 more on 6 per second. I think this is wrong. It's every 4 seconds, right? Whatever. Shadow. Yeah, shadow feels a little oppressive. You can get it quite early too, because most of the shadow units are, right, you have 3 costs and a 2 cost, and then you have it. So for a buff that's like more or less equivalent to how Imperial worked, you're not gated by, you know, Swain or even Draven. Like, you have so many low cost units to get shadow in quite early. So this is good. You know, 5% isn't a ton, and 15%, hopefully it'll, you know, like the most common you see is like Shadow, Infernal, Ranger, Summoner, which with like Malzahar or Kindred Carry, which just feels hard to beat. Warden, yeah, Wardens are really underwhelming. So 25% more. This like these numbers look big, but they're not even. Right, like 25% more armor of like 30 armor is like what? Okay, let's just do 20. So it's 5 more armor on. No, that's okay. So it's, yeah, it's like 7.5 armor. I don't know. We'll see. I think the problem is that Wardens don't have like a clear damage dealer. Like even Malphite alt does very little damage compared to like Cho alt or Gnar from last patch. Or last set, rather. Okay, 3-star ability scaling. We want to make sure that higher cost 3-star champions are an exciting power up worth the chase of getting them. It's already true for 80 HP. Scaling champs and tier 1 champs, but much less so for others. Okay. Right, because 80 and HP, like, they just have default scaling. HP doubles and 80 usually doubles, and then sometimes they round it down a little, so it's like not an even 100 or something like that. So we're buffing the 3-star abilities for some tier 2. Okay. So Jax, 100 more damage, tier 3 Jax. That's kind of a lot. 100 more on LeBlanc, 50 more on Nico, 75 on Syndra. Some of these are pretty big. Like LeBlanc already feels pretty strong, and Nico with like the right items, because you have to remember this procs 3 times. So this is 600, and this is, you know, over 1,000 damage. Syndra has AoE, so this is impactful. Thresh Shield goes from 250, 400, so 50 more. Okay. This is literally nothing. But it says note balance change below, so maybe there's more to him. Volley Bear, 150 on level 3. Okay, this is fine. I mean, sure. Get rewarded for going for a tier 3. Hopefully this doesn't like... I don't want the meta to just become hyper rolling, because then it feels less skilled and it's more like, well, I got the champion, so there's nothing you can do about it. I think building a strong comp and transitioning well is better than just like, well, I hit Vayne 3, Jax 3, Nasus 3 right after Krugs, so guess I just win now. I don't really like hyper rolling. So I hope that's not what this is trending towards. I guess we'll see. Aatrox damage. This is like Aatrox does less damage than set 1, right? His level 2 ult used to do 600. Plus, you know, like Sork buff isn't a thing anymore, so now you rely on items to get him to do like that really crazy upfront burst. And the other thing, set 1 Aatrox had Demon, so he would ult before everyone else. So Aatrox feels really underwhelming as well. Up to 1,000. It's a lot, but I mean, tier 3 Aatrox, I've never seen one. Ezreal to 800. Okay, so basically across the board, it's like plus 100, plus 200 damage, right? Sometimes it's like 150, sometimes it's 250. Okay, yeah, Kindred's really strong, right? She has 3 synergies and healing reduction. And her synergies are all good. Like, getting 3-star Kindred already felt like a win. Now another 150 damage. I don't know if I agree with that. Okay, Nautilus, stun duration. Yeah, Nautilus feels pretty weak. 6-second stun, though, is crazy. Nautilus with, like, Wardens and the right items actually can just chain stun. So I think Nautilus is actually sleeper strong, potentially. And, yeah, another 100 damage. Scion, 200 damage. Okay. General, champion balance. Yeah, Ivern is too strong. Like, Woodland Druid is just too strong, I think. If you get it, it feels like you can just kind of, like, YOLO until, like, stage 4. Which, I don't know if you should be able to go, like, 13 turns without having to make decisions. Okay, so the shield got hit 50 and then 100. That's pretty solid. Like, 50's impactful. And I think if they did 100, if they shave 100 off, it's just too weak. Although he is a 1 cost, so I don't know. Maokai. Okay, 25 off the healing. This just means that, like, in those scenarios where you're really close to killing him, but then they heal through it all, that won't happen anymore. Which is good. I think, you know, you shouldn't just get these 2 units and be able to do nothing. You need to have a damage dealer to augment, like, the amount of time they buy you. So having, like, a strong backliner or, like, Diana or something that can just, like, kill everything while they're buying time is good. Nasus. Okay, what? So, more damage at level 1 and less at level 3. I'm fine with that. I don't like hyper rolling. Nasus, bonus health. Again, just shifting power from level 3 to level 1. Okay. Talia has 5 less mana. See, I don't play Talia ever because she's garbage, but I wonder how this impacts her. Like, so based on mana gain, this could essentially read, like, instead of autoing 4 times to use ability, she autos twice. 3 times. 3 times. Also, 50 out of 80, if you put her on an ocean tile, she instantly ults. And now it's a 2-second stun. So that combo can be pretty nasty. This might make Mountain slightly more viable. The reason Mountain buff is bad is because, first of all, by the time you get Talia and Malphite, it's really late. So it's really only good on Mountain map when you can get early Kiana. Secondly, Talia is so bad that it's kind of like last set at the beginning of the set where it's like, is running Mordekaiser to get Phantom buff really worth it? And really Mountain is just like reverse Phantom buff, right? Instead of taking away someone's HP randomly, you're giving someone a ton of HP randomly. Which is good. It feels less frustrating to play against. Okay, Vayne. Yeah, so they're just taking like small amounts from tier 3 and putting them to tier 1, I guess. It reads as like, you know, if you don't get the upgrades early, maybe you can still win, right? Because like tier 1 Nasus would always lose to someone who hit an upgrade, but now maybe if you have good synergies with extra small amounts of damage, you could pull off like a round 2-1 or 2-2 win before you hit an upgrade. Vlad ability, damage and heal amount, 200, 350, 500 to 200, 325. Okay, so just shaving off 25, 50. Yeah, Vlad really strong. Nice. This is all good. I think maybe Diana should have been... Like, Diana and Kog'Maw maybe hit a little. Predator is really strong, and Diana is really strong too. Maybe just like a super tiny amount like this, like a 25 or something. Oh well. Malzahar. Okay, tier 2s. Malzahar, yeah, Malzahar is really impressive with certain items, especially if you could like make Mage Malzahar with Shojin. It's just like impossible to deal with. So 50 less health on the minions. Great. Rex, yeah, Rek'Sai is actually like I don't even know if she's sleeper OP anymore, but super good, because this is true damage, right? 550 for a 2 cost? Like, if we go up here, you know, Nautilus does 200 as a 3 cost. Skarner, yeah, Skarner is really bad. So when I went through the list of tier 2s that I think are bad, I couldn't even think of him because I never play him because he's so bad. Like Thresh and Syndra and stuff like that sometimes make it into the comp because they have Ocean and Warden and stuff, but if you're running Predators, you always run Rek'Sai over Skarner because Skarner blows. And I feel like Crystal could be good, but all the units seem underwhelming except for Taric. It just feels not worth running. Okay, so 10 less mana, 5 more armor. This just means, you know, this is actually probably pretty significant. So 5 more armor means he'll live longer and get mana, more mana for living longer, which means he gets his ability off, which gives him a shield, which means he lives even longer. So this looks small, but it might mean he buys you an extra 1.5 seconds or even 2 seconds, which could be significant for a fight. Like, your carry gets 2 more seconds of DPS before they get focused down. That can turn a fight. So we'll have to see how Skarner looks. Thresh, 200, 300, 400 to 250, 400, 600. Okay, so tier 2 Thresh is 100 shield. Okay. Yeah. Does his shield hit more than one person? I don't actually know. Whatever. Where were we? Yasuo hits 1 more and then 1 less on tier 1. Okay, so yeah, they basically just like did a lot of swaps with tier 1, 2. Like level 1, level 3. I don't know. I don't really understand why. Oh, okay. So Ezreal has only 30 mana now instead of 40, which I think this will help him a lot. He felt pretty underwhelming, but putting certain items on him now will be like you'll get a lot of value out of the items, especially this, like twice as fast of a cast time, and then if this ties into like if you put Seraphs. Most units have a mana lock on them, so they can't just like get mana immediately. So Ezreal will probably cast his ability. Since it's now faster, the mana lock period will end faster, and then he can get mana again. Since it's only 30, let's say you have Seraphs, you auto once, get 10 mana, use your ability, get 20 mana back, auto mana. So this could be strong. Ashe got, okay, 0.1 more attack speed. That's it? Okay. I think, you know, like, they're probably wary to be like... Well, they can't, actually. So, Ashe's ability does not apply on-hit effects, and the reason it can't is because of pretty much just Giant Slayer, right? Actually, no, it'd be broken on a lot of things. Like, Silence or Disarm, if each of her flurries or whatever calculated a chance to silence, it just perma-silence. So yeah, they can't do that. So the only ways to buff her is to either make her do more damage or more attack speed, which makes her do more damage. Or to just rework her, but she's a tier 4 and she feels pretty bad. Brand. Okay, so yeah, they're just moving like level 3 to level 1. I don't know. These are all weird to me. I don't know what to make of this. And then 1 extra bounce at level 1. That's actually pretty impactful because it's 2-starring a tier 4 can be hard, and when your main carry is like in a comp like Brand, he's your main carry. So having him sit at 1 star with like a bunch of items on him for a long time, especially if you're not ahead in health or money, is just like really hard. So this will be good. Malphite, 50 more health. Okay. Yeah, he also feels kind of underwhelming for like a 4 cost. Maybe this reads as like with certain items he can ult twice instead of once. I don't know. Olaf. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I did not remember to bring up that Olaf should be nerfed because he's like super strong. I think this is a good way to approach it. Like his core identity is being unstoppable, getting attack speed, all that good stuff. This with the glacial nerf should make him more bearable, right? Because you have a good window of time, like 90 mana. You have a good window of time to like disarm him, or like apply grievous wounds, or just kill him before he gets going. Okay, yeah, Yorick is super strong too. Mostly just like his annoying ghouls. They're just like his ghouls are like stronger than him. Seriously. Okay, so they're cutting a lot of health off of them. 250? So 150, 250, 350. Okay, nice. And less attack speed. Good. Good to hear. 2-star York and a summoner or like comp felt like with certain items. It's just like I feel like I've had games where it's like my main carry up against one ghoul and then the ghoul like solos it from full health and I'm like, what? So this is nice to see. Okay, Singe, 100 health. Okay, that's good. And then, and damage. Interesting. So I think Glacial Poison Predators got hit pretty hard because Singed, Olaf, Glacial all got hit. And Rek'Sai. Tier 3 Rek'Sai, I guess. So 50 damage, 100 damage, stays the same. Singed is definitely like the core poisoner, because he poisons everyone for a poison comp, and he's also like probably the only or best user of Morello because there's just not that much AoE in this set, which I think they're steering clear of it because things like Kennen, Lissandra, Swain could like essentially kill everyone by themselves with the right items. 50 health buff on Tarek. Okay, so every crystal unit got buffed. Items. Okay, Frozen Heart down 25k, good. Well, wait, no, this doesn't really need to be nerfed. This does. Oh, okay, they're matching them. That makes sense. Yeah, Iceborne on Cloud Map. I really wish, I would have loved to just see like, we understand that Cloud is annoying. We're changing it to something else. Whatever, I'll take it. Because on Cloud Map, it's just like, can you get more Iceborne gauntlets than the other person? And then the whole map is just frozen. Guardian Angel can no longer be healed during the resurrecting state. So, this is their answer to Zed, I guess. GA plus Redemption Zed, he'll just multiply, heal, multiply, heal, multiply, heal, and then you just lose. They don't want to change Zed, so they're changing this interaction. I don't think this hurts anyone else. There's no units in set 2, like Kennen or Lissandra or Swain, that would utilize like GA Redemption, where you get your AoE ult off and then revive and heal yourself. So this is just like Zed. And then Ionic Spark, like also Zed. This also somewhat hurts Predator because sometimes you throw like a Spark and or Static Shiv on like Kog'Maw just so he can proc the Predator passive. 10 damage though. I think this really is just like a direct nerf to Zed though, because when Zed multiplies 6 times you have 6 sparks, so it's like significantly less damage. Ranked, it's on. Time to improve. Okay, I already read about this. So yeah, basically like classic. Every season they just everyone resets to no elo, like Iron, and then you play placement games where you, even if you lose, you don't lose LP. And then I read about Reddit, like it's a hard rank reset but a soft MMR reset. So like if you're diamond or whatever, you're playing with people roughly that ended the same as you. That way it's fair, which is good, As someone who's in Challenger, I don't really want to ruin games, I want them to be competitive, much like someone who's, in gold doesn't really want me in their game either. So it's a two-way street. No losing LP for placing fourth or better. This already happened. Like that, I swear they did this before the end of egg season even ended, which is good. Like it sucks. This happened to me. You get fourth and it's like -2, and it's like, really? Okay. Okay, not too much more. So bug fixes. General improvements to melee unit pathing. I'm really hoping this means that melee units are less idiotic about chasing Singe, but we'll see. Spooky invisible woodland. Yeah, so sometimes like LeBlanc specifically, I think, would just count as double woodland, which is problematic, obviously. All PvE small monsters are now properly considered 1-star. Okay, this just helps Vigar. This helps Vigar as well. All three of these are just Vigar, right? Because like if they're a lower star than him, he one-shots them. Ranged Berserkers via rapid fire cannon or Berserker's axe now properly deal damage in a cone from their target instead of from themselves. I didn't know about this bug, but obviously that's good to have fixed. Fixed a few height bugs. What? Okay. The electric trait is no longer benefits from ability power, no longer feeds it. Okay. So there's this build that, like 6 Wardens electric, right? You can't kill them and then you just slowly die to electric. And you put Gunblade on Ornn, because he's the easiest electric to get, plus he's a Warden. I was worried about that. This is basically like set 1 when it was like Shyvana, Thornmail, Gunblade. So I agree with this a lot. Tier 1 champs. Diana's orbs can no longer hit multiple targets each. Okay, so maybe this is why she felt so strong. Like she summons 3 orbs, and then like if all 3 of them were hitting 3 people, that's triple the damage. So this is a nerf. Well, it's a nerf to live Diana, but like a unintended interaction, I guess. Kog'Maw's ability adjusted to miss far less often. Okay, that's good. Renekton's ability now properly deals magic damage. So what was it dealing, physical or true? So it might actually be a buff if it was dealing physical damage, because every champion has base 20 MR and almost every champion has higher than that base armor. So his ability will now be doing more damage because there will be less mitigation. Interesting. Although, if you have Desert, it's a nerf, because if he was dealing physical damage with his ability and you have Desert, it's mitigating less. Whatever, not a huge deal. Fixed healing text on Vlad to show the proper amounts. Okay. Zyra's plant attack speed and duration now match their... Okay, I didn't know that. Zyra's plants no longer occasionally hop into your bed. I loved it. This was funny to see, but obviously you don't want stuff like that. This was funny though. Okay, Malzar's minions attack speed now. Okay, I didn't know about that either. Volibear's ability restores him to full mana if a non-execute cast kills the target. Wait, what? Oh, okay. So I don't really know how this execute is calculated, but this is just saying if they're like super low and it doesn't calculate as an execute, but it does enough damage to kill them anyways, it will properly restore his mana, which is good. Azir no longer summons soldiers adjacent to untargetable units like Zyra's plants. I never saw that happen, but that's good. Mundo won't cast his ability when there's nothing in range that it could hit. This is nice because he actually has really high starting mana, so if you put him on Ocean, but like the Ocean tiles in like the second row or something, it's just like annoying, right? Because then you lose a lot of your duration walking up. Kiana won't cast her ability when there's nothing in range that could hit. No hit. Clarified Vigor's tooltip that. Okay. Okay, whatever. Annie can no longer gain mana if she summons 2 Tibbers with the Mage's Cap. So this is intended. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe it was like a bug. But I guess they're just... Because Annie's ability specifically says she cannot gain mana while Tibbers is active, which is intended so that you can't have multiple Tibbers, right? Because it's too strong. But they're saying, okay, it's okay to do that if you have a Mage's Cap and Mages and roll it. Which is fine. I mean, she's a 4 cost. Although Tibbers is so tanky, so... Then one of them dies. Okay, but apparently, like, you cast 2 Tibbers, 1 dies, the game would calculate that you can now start gaining mana again, so then you could summon, like, Tibbers number 3. So this is a good bug. This is, like, a big bug, actually. Ash's 3-star scaling to be the intended 250%. Okay, I've never seen 3-star Ash. Fixed an issue where Ash could not proc Blade Master while her ability was active. Interesting. Fixed Olaf and Singed looking like they were glacialed even when they were still attacking. Riot. Singed can't attack. He just runs. Fix your patch notes. Tier 5. Champions can now properly take damage from multiple poison trails. Okay, so if you just have like 2 Singed or 3, I guess. They count as unique trails. Okay. Zed's clones now properly attribute damage to Zed in the damage track. Okay, that's just like quality of life. Declaw now also reduces magic damage received for non-ability effects, items, traits, etc. Maybe like summons, traits, so like electric. Items like Ionic Spark, Ludens. Okay, that's good. This makes Dragon's Claw better. Like, I mean, Dragon's Claw is way weaker than last patch, or last set. Iceborne Gauntlet's attack speed now, slow occasionally, persisting across. Yeah, sometimes you'd kill the unit and then they would just stay, which sucks, obviously, because it's always like Iceborne Gauntlet is way too strong. So hopefully the 25%, the 10% reduction will make it less suffocating. Inferno Cinder now properly works on Renekton, Jax, Rek'Sai, Vayne, and on their empowered attacks. Oh, okay. Whatever. Spatula items now correctly no longer do double. Yeah. I think Berserker Spat specifically said it doubled their stats. I never saw a spat that actually doubled them. It just said it did. But perhaps got that wrong. But this is big, right? If they're saying it doesn't double it anymore, it needs to actually do that. Talisman of Light now correctly grants. Did it not? Or maybe it only granted like 20 or something. Because like now it grants 25. Interesting. Okay, I like pretty much all of this. I think, you know, the couple question marks is like, why did you buff like Kindred? And that's about it. One note, like Olaf nerf, I think Hand of Justice was already really good on him, but it wasn't like necessary. But now maybe it is, because with the 25 mana, if he doesn't get going, that's like almost a majority of your damage in the comp gone. So start prioritizing that. Nice. I like a lot of the changes. You know, I think overall set 2 is like way more balanced than set 1. I'm really happy with what they did. I think they learned a lot from set 1. They got rid of a lot of really unfun mechanics to play against, and on top of that, item diversity is higher. Like towards the end of set 1, if you didn't have a sword, you felt like you couldn't get top 4. In set 2, if I don't get a sword the whole game, I'm not like upset or worried. It's just, you know, I can still make things work. So I really like that. I also think there's very many viable comps to top 4 with and even top 1 with. I also like the fact that, like, you know, there is hyper rolling, but also non-hyper rolling. You can pretty much guarantee going to 9 as long as you're not losing a lot of health early. And then look for, you know, a top-off unit like like Electric, Shadow, Glacial, Ocean, Lux, or like any of those Luxes, or Light Lux if you're a light comp, like Steel Lux if you have Steel. There's so many kind of like unique skill expression type things where I feel like if you know how to continuously keep tempo and upgrade your comp while managing your economy, you just have a lot of options, which I like, and it promotes being flexible as opposed to just like cookie cutter, like ASOL every game, NAR every game, if not get lose, if get win. Like towards the end of set one, it was just so stale, and it felt like there was very little diversity because certain sets or certain traits like Dragon just choked everything out. Like you couldn't even play Elementalist because someone's always gonna have Dragon, and Brand alt is just a free ASOL alt, and then you just die. So I really like set two. I'm excited to play.